Hello friends and welcome. Today I'm going to walk you through a game of Omniknight 5 I just played. I wasn't recording. I just kind of wanted to chill, play Get Dota, but I thought it was a good game. I think Omniknight's doing really well this patch. In the future, we'll actually make a guide for him. It'll be a quick basic guide, but this will just be a quick walkthrough, not that quick actually, of the whole game, kind of analyze my own gameplay. Actually, let's pause here. Let me explain my mindset going into this game once I see the draft. So, my job as Omniknight, in general, is just to save and amplify teammates. You don't have a stun, you're not looking to initiate fights, you sit in the back, you let other people do things, and when they're in trouble, you save them. You heal them, you remove stuns, you use your ult, things like that. You do not want to go in first. So on my team, I have Ursa. That's going to give us a strong lane. That's why I bought an Orb of Venom. If he had an Orb of Venom, I would have bought something else. I'm not going to go too far into itemization. That'll be in the guide in the future. But that's why I bought the Orb of Venom this game. And because I know we're going to play aggressive when we hit level 2, that means I'm going to cast a lot of spells. That's going to bait the enemy into casting a lot of spells. And that's what this magic stick's for. But I know I'm going to need more regen, things like that, so you see it queued up. Anyways, let's get back to my role in the game. After a strong lane with Ursa, I'm hoping to play with Huskar and Primal Beast, two pretty high-tempo heroes right now, have played well, and fortunately, they're both strength, so Heavenly Grace is kind of the build right now, but even if it wasn't, I would do it this game because it's going to be really good with all these strength heroes, and I'm just going to look to play with them while Ursa farms up, and eventually, all get together. From there, whoever's doing the best is who I'm likely to focus on. So both Huskar and Ursa are nice to work with, but I'm going to have to pick one because I don't have that many spells to use. So whoever's doing the best, that'll flex. So that's kind of my idea of my team. Now, when I look at the enemy team, there's a PA. Very happy. I just need to get my ult off in these fights. So that's part of why I can't be in the front. People I'm scared of is going to be this Night Stalker and Lion. They have this instant initiation. If this Night Stalker blink silences on top of me, Lion blink hex stun. To an extent, the silence and stun from Grimstroke. Kunkka has crowd control, but I'm not so scared of it because he'll X me and then he'll use the combo, but that gives me tons of time to throw out all my abilities before I die, and that's kind of my job. So I'm not too worried about it. It's these instant abilities that might get me killed before I cast anything that is going to be the problem. So that is kind of my mindset going into the game, what I think of my role, who I'm going to play with, and who on the enemy I'm scared of. So I might have to adapt my itemization for that later, whether we're doing well and I want to focus on strengthening Huskar and Ursa, or if I'm having a rough time, the enemy's doing really well, and I need to focus on my own survivability. But my spells kind of are all the saves I need, so those are, I don't really need to buy more saves, I just need to buy things that help me guarantee my spells get to be used. Now, here at the start, I know I'm strong, I know Night Stalker's weak, and I saw them have several heroes bottom, so I know I was able to play aggressive. You see me, I should just talk about this. This isn't just Omniknight focused, it's about supporting in general, so actually this is non-Omniknight focused. I'm strong enough to do this. I probably wouldn't do this if I was like a Crystal Maiden, some other slow hero, but you see I'm Omniknight, I am a strength hero with 660 HP, I have 315 move speed, good armor, so I'm not scared about walking up like here. And I see him trying to I don't know if it was intention or not, but you see these creeps are separated. So I'm body blocking the first creep a little bit to get it more in line with the others. It's not perfect. The last creep's still back there, but rather than all these creeps instantly focusing on this melee creep, I am sacrificing a bit of equilibrium in the short term, but trying to get the creeps to meet up more naturally, which should be good for my equilibrium in the long term. So we meet a little further out than necessary, but you see that? They're already splitting their damage. So some on this melee creep, some on this melee creep. If I didn't do that body block, they would all focus one creep. That's going to get him killed off the fastest, and that's generally not good for you. So getting it split up like this, typically good, smart to do if you are safe to do so. Don't do it against really strong laners. So because I see Grimstroke here on the minimap, I see two, guys, do some math. There's 5 heroes in a game. I know this guy's on his own, so you see me just coming to run at him. I don't want him to have a free time at all, and I'm just going to punch him. I don't care that he's casting too many spells on me. I'm trying to be a little efficient with my movements and tangoing. This is unrelated to supporting, guys, but carry players, if you're watching this is really good. Look where Ursa's standing. A lot of people default to standing up here, which is generally safe. But there's no reason to. He can help zone Night Stalker with his presence here. If he was over here, Night Stalker might feel safe against me to like move up here and, you know, occasionally go for last hits. But because Ursa's here and I'm here, he's way the hell back here, totally out of XP range. Guess what? Ursa can still get all the last hits and denies he needs to. So not about Ursa, but this is very good for carry players to do in these kind of situations. Now, I don't want to draw these creeps because that's going to force me to walk straight back, which I'm kind of doing anyways, and this is a mistake, guys. I should have actually gone to block this camp. I know Grimstroke's not here still, so I'm very safe to do this. And because I didn't start with a sentry, because I wanted to be greedy and do Orb of Venom and Magic Stick, I really should have blocked this camp. Totally had the time. I'm just an idiot, so I forgot, and that's actually going to hurt my laning stage. Later, we'll see. I almost made it. I was so close, guys. So close, but if I wasn't an idiot, I would have made it. So I do want to still like mess with Night Stalker. I accidentally aggroed the range creep. Actually, it couldn't really help it, but I do think it was worth zoning him while Grimstroke still wasn't here. And I bought more regen in the salve, the sentry with my starting gold. I wanted that salve as quickly as possible. Did Ursa have one at the start? Maybe I missed that. Maybe if I had known he had one salve, I actually would have probably not bought this salve and bought... Actually, no, I probably would buy this salve anyways. The reason I want a salve, guys, is just because in case a trade goes really badly, I don't want us to like lose the lane to a weak laner like Night Stalker. So I want to play really aggressive, make sure I have enough health to keep doing that, and that's why I bought the salve. Your mana costs aren't too high with just this Hammer of Purity. It's only 50 mana, and then the Magic Stick will help you recoup some costs, but you will need some mana as Omniknight. I'm going to buy some later, but right now I know that I still just need a lot of health. I used a lot of my tangos fighting this guy, but I made him use tangos, and so my tangos for his tangos, totally worth it. But I'm going to need more now that they're all here. I need to keep up the pressure. I can't run out of regen, so that's why I've got it queued up. See, guys, I'm screwing up here. I gotta like stop the pulls because I failed to block this because I'm gonna take a really bad trade. But I'm a strength hero, really fast, high armor, so I actually live, and then I end up using my salve back here, but totally avoidable if I had just remembered to block the camp. So this is going better for them than it should have. This is my own fault for forgetting to body block the camp. And you see here, he got low, but I'm able to just use Heavenly Grace on him. And then with 2 slows applied, we're just able to run down Grimstroke. And you see both of us have the Heavenly Grace. If you didn't know the patch change, now when I cast it on teammate, I also get it. So we're both going to get healed. We both get some extra HP from the base strength. I'm a strength hero, so I get base damage. Ursa's agility in this case, so he doesn't get it. But usually, that's fine. You know, you don't really need to give him more damage. If you have a strength hero, great. But it's not a big deal. You get damage, and so you get to fight when you cast this spell. I don't have much to say right now. You just see us doing stuff. Okay, so now Grimstroke back. I do want to spend my money. I don't know why I'm delaying so long, guys, because I'm bad at Dota. But I should buy some mana regen coming up. Let's see what I end up buying, actually. And I want another salve for the same reason I bought the first salve. I used that salve, so now I need another one. In my mind, that was my decision. They're just kind of like eating up some damage. I have full health, mostly. So instead of letting them focus Ursa, I want them to focus me. Gonna body block. Tried to body block, but also place the sentry now because I screwed up. So I'm going to block it this time so that it won't be a further issue because I clearly cannot remember to body block this camp. I'm not that scared of Grimstroke, so I don't mind like running at him a bit, but I am trying to stop this. I used Heavenly Grace first, since obviously if it stuns me, I can't cast Heavenly Grace to then remove the stun. But in the case that he would like stun me and then cast another spell, I didn't want to get burst and killed without casting my spells because I would have looked like an idiot. So I went ahead and preemptively Heavenly Graced, which is going to give me that bonus HP, start healing me up, and guarantee that I kind of don't die here. And I'm going to chase him a little bit just because I can. I kind of thought maybe we could play aggressively with Ursa. It didn't quite work out. But it's not really a big deal to me. I will need some mana, though, and I think I bought some, right? This is not perfect. I kind of wish I bought a mango, actually. I bought a clarity because I need a lot of mana, and You actually have kind of a small mana pool, so like one clarity actually gives you most of what you need. And I was looking to do like I wanted a clarity in case I could pull, but I also wish I had bought a mango, even though I have a magic stick, just so like I can play aggressive when needed. But you see, like even just a few seconds of this clarity, and then boom, I have both my spells, which is typically like that's gonna be good enough. And now the longer the clarity goes, I now have like Hammer of Purity, a second cast for free if I need to. Same reason I applied Heavenly Grace on myself here, but it was a mistake, guys. I'm also getting used to the fact that I actually should have cast it on Ursa because I would also get it, and then we would both have it. So a bit of a misplay on my part, but with that extra strength and HP regen from myself, I am good to just play aggressive. I switched targets here, guys, because I knew Ursa would kill this Night Stalker. It's still daytime, and with the amount of stacks he had on him, I knew that Ursa would be able to kill him with Earth Shock. So then I was like, oh boy, Courier, woo! But also, I didn't have the capacity to click the Courier, but I was low-key worried. It's like, oh, what if boots are on the Courier? He gets him delivered, he gets to run away. So because I felt like Ursa would definitely kill Night Stalker on his own, so long as he didn't get some new game-changing item, that's why I switched targets there. Then I'm going to run at the Grimstroke as well in case I get to slow or in case I can Heavenly Grace him. I should have salved him right there. I'd be free to like go move around, go for this water rune right now, but I kind of forgot, and then he like ran away from me to get to the lane back, so I had to like come chase him and salve him up. And then I want to buy this boot before I bring out another clarity, so I came to get this rune, which I forgot about for 2 minutes, and with that money I was able to buy the boots and the clarity. You kind of see, even without the clarity, I have enough for at least one spell. So it was a little bit greedy to go for a clarity and kind of not have any more immediate mana. But I did have 4 stick charges, so I felt like I'd be okay. Could probably get by with another clarity, which is a little more cost efficient than mangoes. And using them while you do pulls tends to be great because you're pretty far away from the lane. Saw 3 heroes were bottom, so I knew I was safe to play really aggressive, walk up like this. This is a little risky because Night Stalker can see you and you can't see him, but as I got here, I kind of lucked out. I was just going to YOLO this ward, guys, but actually Night Stalker's over here, so we're good. And the second I saw him, I knew he was low, so I wanted to come mess with him. Wasn't sure where he'd go, so I thought maybe I'd wait behind this tree and see if he like came out through the jungle like this. But after a few seconds, I was like, oh wait, maybe he just sees me from the top. But actually, I think I was good over here in this corner. So you see me run over here, kind of just mess with him a little bit. I don't want him to like freely farm in the jungle, and top is good. There's nothing for me to do up here. Pulls at this point are kind of pointless if there's no one in the lane, and so I want to start getting out of here. That's why I'm like going over here. I wish I had some wards with me to place some deep ones, but this is good. Like, I don't regret placing this one. This one has to happen. But if I had the second ward, placing it somewhere in here as I ran through here might have been an option. But actually, because this one's here, I don't really need to do that. Now, I knew Huskar was doing well. That's why I was thinking about playing with him a bit. Maybe help him get Roche. Unfortunately, both supports were here. I got a kill, and then I got to walk away perfectly fine. Hoo. That's unfortunate for us. Huskar dying here. Bottom at this point is doing bad. They're flaming each other in chat. This Weaver especially is going in on that Primal Beast. But that kind of gave me a feeling like I maybe am not going to play bottom as much, you know? If they're doing decent to good, then I know like I can play with them. But they seem to be kind of self-destructing a little bit. So I was switching my mindset to I'm going to play with Huskar. And I knew that he could do Roche really at any time. If I'm near him, and especially if he has this armlet. So that's why I switched to this Medallion instead of Arcane Boots. Medallion also gives you some mana, and it's really good with Huskar and Ursa to keep up a fast tempo. Arcane Boots can be good for a fast tempo as well if your teammates need mana, but Huskar doesn't really need a bunch of mana. And you can see as long as I buy a couple of clarities, my mana issues will be fine, and so that's why I decided to go for a Medallion to try to strengthen him up. I think around here, I could have maybe gone bottom instead. I'm dewarding now because I know if we find something, Huskar's with me to get it. Otherwise, guys, don't do this when you're on your own and you know enemy heroes are nearby. It's like, what's the point? You can't walk up and they're going to see you like walk in. And so then they might just deny their own ward. So only go for this kind of stuff when you know you feel confident to come to the enemy cliff and deward if there is something here. I'm putting it in the river, by the way, just because this is super common, right? Wards on their side or wards on your side. So in the river, generally good, but these sentries tend to die a lot just because they're pretty easy to get for either team. But they cover some good areas, so that's why this game I felt fine doing it. Felt like we could play aggressive, so I came to do this ward, and then I was like, oh, I'm in a bad spot. But I think I lucked out a bit where I think they knew I was in the area. But I had fortunately been turning away, so I don't know if they didn't click me in time, but I feel like they should know I warded in that area, but they actually didn't end up getting that ward, I think. I'm just sitting behind Huskar because I saw several heroes mid, so I thought he might be in danger, and because Huskar is doing well, so is Ursa. So them dying is a bigger issue for me. Bottom already sucks, and so them dying again and again is bad, but not as bad as like your best hero dying, you know? Because I know we can deal with this. This PA doing really well. If Huskar has a strong tempo and Ursa has a strong tempo, I know I can handle that. So I don't want him to die. I saw a bunch of heroes mid, and that's why I stayed near Huskar rather than go bottom. But now that I know it's safe and now that I have this ward down, I do want to go bottom to try to help deal with this mess. But now they're dead, so it's not like I can do that much. So I'm just going to chill here, get this XP. They were tilting, so I was using my chat wheel. That's what it's for. Just going to go for some last hits. I think I probably missed some, so let's speed through so you guys don't notice. Whew. Placing this ward to... I did the same thing, you know? It's pretty common, I feel. So I have the sentries. I'm just going to blindly check because they keep killing him. And so I don't want them to have more vision. Like maybe they feel confident to make these aggressive plays with vision. Like every time they see, oh, it's just Primal Beast. Oh, they're split up. Like anything like that. So I want to place a sentry to make sure they don't have that kind of vision and they don't feel as confident to make these aggressive plays. Didn't find anything, so I guess they were just doing the plays. Actually, let's check real quick. Why? Did they have any vision? No. So whatever. I think it's still good to do. I have the safety of mind that at least they don't have a ward back here. And I'm just going to like chill in the back. I don't want to show too much. I don't want them to know where I am. Because if you pick one of these targets to kill, it has to be me. Otherwise, I'm going to save Primal Beast. So if they know where I am, then I have a problem. So that's why you see me just kind of like chilling in trees a bit there. Decide to come D-ward. I clicked the sentry here real quick, guys. The enemy sentry. And I saw that enough time had passed. The sentry gives vision for 12 seconds. So if it looked like it, so like click mine, right? If you click your own, or sorry, you click the enemies and, sorry. This is the enemy sentry ward. You see time has passed. Then you, like this is a freshly placed sentry. And you see there's like barely a line. So if you see that, that means it still has vision. And so if you replace a ward, the enemy would actually see it if they're paying attention to the minimap. So I checked the enemy sentry, saw that more than 12 seconds had passed since they placed it. They don't really have the best way to check high ground. And so instead of de-warding their sentry, I just left it and I placed my observer, hoping that they wouldn't, you know, randomly bring a courier or try to check high ground with like Night Stalker ult or something. Or Kunkka. Actually, Kunkka Torrent could also be used. I don't know. I think they actually get this one later. So, you see that observer? That wasn't there when I placed that sentry. And I can actually tell real quick. Well, one, I knew it hadn't been there before. But if you click it, same thing. You can tell how recently it's been placed. So, two things here. This is the type of observer ward I was going for with this sentry. So, I knew what they were doing. They want vision to keep playing aggressively. I just lucked out that they happened to place it here. But the other thing, the reason I want to point out that it was freshly placed is twofold. One, I know someone's here, and it's probably a support. If we go back to the minimap, so I know PA was here, because we saw her recently, but nothing in this area had really shown, but then this observer ward dropped. That means I know for a fact at least one other hero is here, and I want to be safe. I even see Kunkka starting to make his way down here, which suggests to me that they might be making an aggressive play here. The other reason you want to note when an observer ward is recently placed is just because there can only be so many observers in a game. They restock, right, over time. And so if you kill an observer ward that's about to die, it feels great. You still get the money. It's totally fine. But it means that ward was about to die anyways. So although you get money and XP for it, in terms of the game's vision, it's actually not that impactful because it was going to die soon anyways. When you kill a fresh observer like this, that means you are taking out a chunk of their vision that they were supposed to have for several minutes. And if you manage to deward multiple times back to back, like you get this one, right? And maybe I get lucky and I actually got one up here too. I know I killed 2 observers that were supposed to cover their vision for quite a while, which means they probably only have like 1, maybe 2 observers somewhere else. So I can kind of assume that they have pretty bad vision if I manage to get 2 observers. I'm getting 1 here, but that's kind of like starting the counter. Like, okay, that was a fresh observer. If I get another fresh observer in the next couple minutes, that means in like another 2 minutes, the old observers I never got are probably dead, and they don't have like the ones that I just got, which means their vision's gonna be super dark. I don't know if that made a bunch of sense, but that's what you think about. And then surprise, surprise, here are the supports, here's Konka. Try to help him out, and then I'm just like, all right, see ya, dude, you're dead. But actually I ulted. I was feeling pretty generous with this. And the Huskar was not playing with me. He was farming Armlet, and then like I thought we would do stuff, but you see, he was like sending me bottom. Like I could tell by the way he was drawing on the map or pinging. I can't remember what he did. He kind of wanted to be on his own still, which is fine. So I figured like I probably won't use this ult for a bit. So I thought I would try to save this Primal Beast, and actually almost works, right? But in the end, they do manage to chase him and then kill him. And then I think I also die here. But we're just gonna call it Space Made because he gets the Roche. Now here at the end, you see me, I'm dead here. There's no way I survive. So, best of your ability, you should try to run to a neutral camp. There's no guarantee it happens, but you're dead anyways, so it doesn't hurt to try to get yourself denied. And even if you don't get yourself denied, maybe the enemy will take some damage from the neutral camp. So, it doesn't really hurt to try. I suppose the negative side is that PA was going to farm it anyway, so now she's closer. Like, you could say something like that. But at this level, probably not. So, always good to think about if you're being killed and you know you're dead, try to run to a neutral camp. If you think you might survive, it can be a little different. You don't see it, but I pinged the time for Roshan here because Huskar and Ursa and a Weaver can kill Roshan very quickly, and we want to do that on a cycle. That's going to help us pull ahead. The enemy team cannot do that nearly as well. So it's really useful for me to have a good sense of timing on the Roshan and try to get us to do that. How did they know this was here? I don't know. I guess they were just doing it. I don't know if they knew I had that. But Huskar getting Aegis is good. I want to go like make my way to him, and here I am. Again, felt confident to do this because I saw 3 heroes here, and I knew that Huskar was right here, so I felt like, oh, we can, like, I can deward 2 hits and then get out. And I want to prioritize this one because this is the harder one to kill. Actually, my positioning's kind of poor here. I should have moved further up before getting that sentry, just in case they were like smoked and running this way. Fortunately, they're not smoked, and I can see them with this observer. So I'm just kind of near Huskar at first, because he had Aegis, and sometimes Huskars will stop playing really aggressive right now, but I also clicked him and saw he had BKB queued up, and so I kind of got the idea that, oh, this is probably just a space-making Aegis. He's just going to farm with it, which is fine, but it means I don't really need to be near him. Came to kind of help the Weaver a bit, and then decided I don't want to die, so bye. But right now, I think we should probably go play with Primal Beast. I think it was a bit of a mistake on my part. At this point, I still wasn't sure whether Huskar was going to go with us or not. Oh, I warded up here just because they did end up getting this one. We clicked over and saw it. I hadn't noticed at the time, though, and so I later realized they got it. So I was wondering, like, how did they know I warded it? Like, maybe they had vision somewhere over here and saw me do it. So that's what I was checking. Because Primal Beast was in trouble, I kind of smoked us over to try to get here a little faster. Also thought Huskar might be able to play aggressive. He has Aegis, but he was close to the fight, so he's willing to take convenient fights for him, and I thought this might be one. And bottom still seemed a bit dysfunctional. They were still yelling at each other, so I was like, I don't think I'm going to organize smoke plays with them, you know? So no need to really save the smoke. Went ahead and just used it. This is a bit of a preemptive cast on Huskar, but the uptime is pretty good. Only 4-second downtime until the level 10 talent. And because he was kind of low, and because he had Aegis, I figured, like, if they kill him, whatever. But maybe I should have kept that Heavenly Grace till he actually needed it. I think part of my worry was like a burst from Lion Finger or something, which actually it's still on cooldown now that I think about it, because it used it on me earlier, but wasn't that good on the sense of timing. He's teleporting top. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, so I figured I would cast Heavenly Grace on him, because that means he'll be stronger when he comes up here, and now I get to choose whether I go up or not. I take a look, decide this is an important enough fight, there's enough people here. While I'm teleporting, I am looking at my abilities, guys, and I'm looking at my mana. I'm trying to do this quick, guys, so it's nice we can pause. So I have nothing to do while I'm teleporting, right? So what's important for me to do is to absorb the fight, like what's going on, what do I need to do? And then I need to decide, like, can I do that? So I'm looking at this. Ursa's dead. I'm not going to make it for Ursa, but you're using a lot for Ursa, and I see several low health heroes here, which means Huskar might choose to still play aggressive. Now, I could Hammer of Purity someone right away, sure. But this is the least important ability, really. I need to make sure I can cast Heavenly Grace again in 7 seconds. I would like to use Purification, but it's a level 1 ability. It only does 90 damage and 90 heal, but it costs 80 mana. The much bigger spell would be Guardian Angel here, because we are, like, with Ursa dead, we're going to be 2v4, but she's all right-click, he's mostly right-click, and these guys aren't going to do as much when my Heavenly Grace is up. And also, I think they used abilities to kill the Ursa, so I'm not so worried about them. I'm worried about everyone right-clicking us and having, like, 4 heroes doing that. So, the most important ability is to pop Guardian Angel as soon as I teleport, maybe saving Ursa, but doesn't look like it. And then I want to make sure I can cast Heavenly Grace. So I'm looking at my stuff now, and I go, I've got a Mango, I've got 8 stick charges, so I'm good to ult and then use this, but I don't want to use Purification or Hammer of Purity first, because I couldn't do the math fast enough, but I was like, probably not going to have enough mana for all these abilities. So this is important to do, guys. Don't accidentally like use the wrong abilities. I went ahead and used everything. You see I do have enough mana, but I didn't cast it right away since they didn't go on the Huskar. So there's no real reason to burn the mana. Ursa died, unfortunately. Using another sentry, similar idea as when I did it over here. If they made this play on Ursa, did they have some kind of vision to know he was alone? Also, we're pushing this tower, so it'd be good to make sure they don't just see us doing this. It is nighttime, so Ursa or Night Stalker would see us. Same thing as last time, sentried. Checked the sentry. Again, you can see it's been here for a little bit, so it doesn't have persisting vision. His ult just faded, so I know they're not going to have flying vision from him. And I'm just going to bet Konga's not going to torrent up here. So I put my sentry here, betting that they would miss it. And I still just want to sit near Huskar because he has the Aegis. I know he might consider playing kind of aggressive now. I know he might also go for BKB. But if something convenient happens for him, he's going to fight. And so Primal Beast is dead. Ursa had a free lane, right? After we won our lane and we kicked Night Stalker out. While all this stuff was happening, Ursa's been free. I kind of still want him to farm because he's going for a Battle Fury. So he needs to finish the Battle Fury, and then he needs to use the Battle Fury to farm. So I don't want to play near Ursa, otherwise that's going to bait him to try to be more aggressive. He's going to like, oh, Omniknight's near me, I got to go do stuff. No, don't do stuff with me. Farm. I want to be near Huskar. I want to be near Primal Beast so they feel more confident to do things. Having said that, I kind of walked away from from the Huskar. But I kind of saw they were all bottom, so I felt fine about it. Medallion's free, so I'm just going to kind of use that. I'm going to go for the Arcane Boots. 3 bounties here. Oops. Make sure to check the new bounty spots, guys. Because I was having mana issues. I have this trusty shovel to try to dig up mangoes. But you can see now that, like, as you get more points in Purification, like, your mana pool is not enough. You get to use all your abilities once, which is a huge shame because several of these can be used multiple times in fights. So you need some kind of mana issue. Arcane, great for it. Pinging this double damage rune, trying to protect it. Please. And because he had double damage, he looked to play aggressive, so I want to come help him. But look where I'm standing, guys. I'm not near him. That's not what I need to do. Slowing people would be nice, but that's not the important part. The important part's getting my ult off, using Heavenly Grace, using Purification. I'm way the hell back here. One of the buffs to him, by the way, is more cast range on Heavenly Grace. So you see them going on Huskar. Actually, let's slow this down. So because I have been way in the back, the enemy team does not know where I am. I was thinking about warding here, by the way, guys, and that's why I'm over here. And then I realized, like, actually I'm not close enough to use my abilities, and so that's why I started running back, which was very fortunate because that's when they went in. So I Heavenly Grace him to remove the stun, but also I just had to do it. Like, even if it wasn't ideal, I see the Night Stalker who now sees me, and I know he's coming to silence me. So I had to try to get all my abilities off, and in fact I was trying to Heavenly Grace and ult here, but I wasn't quite fast enough. Did get the Heavenly Grace off, and now I'm trying to walk away from Night Stalker to use my ult, but actually the enemy had already given up, so I didn't quite need to ult here, but I thought they were committing based on what they were doing, and I was kind of panicking because I was like walking in the silence. I was like, I gotta get out and use it, and I was focused on that rather than absorbing the information that I no longer needed to do that. So we're still playing aggressive, still just gonna like sit behind Huskar. Moving up to this high ground to place a ward for later. But then also I'm gonna just stay in this area because it's relatively safe for me. I now have a ward here. Lets me know if people are flanking this way, gives me time to react. If I was standing in these trees, it's okay, but if people are flanking from this way, or if they have a ward here, I don't know. I'm betting on the fact that they don't have a ward here because we just took the mid tower. And if this mid tower were up, it's a little weird to place a ward here. It's much more reasonable to place a ward like up here. So that's why, even though I didn't have a sentry, or I did have a sentry, but I didn't use it here. Let's see if I was right, guys. Yes, they don't have one. Okay. Right? It doesn't make sense. Outer edges. This cliff makes more sense, guys. The reason being is that this mid tower was down and this bottom tower was down. And you're saying like, oh, Zach, the offlane tower is also down. Yeah, but it's not easy to invade that way. Like, after you take the bottom tower, the jungle opens up. So it's much easier to invade this way into the enemy jungle for us. Right? We're looking at the Radiant perspective right now. But it's much easier to invade this way. And they realize that. That's why their wards are like here and here. Man, they only use cliff wards. No wonder why we got so many this game. But even with with the mid tower up, but the off lane down, it's harder to invade this way. It's why it's the triangle. I don't know how to like fully explain it, guys. But like, I knew if they were gonna have a ward up here, it was most likely like around here rather than this cliff. But if this tower is up, it makes more sense to have a ward here if you're the Radiant, because invading through here is easier to do than the other side. So that's why I opted for this top half, why I took the educated guess to not check this cliff for a ward, and why I was willing to like blindly check over here. I just heard a weird noise, guys. It kind of freaked me out. I don't even know what it was. What was that? And then why I continued to stay over here as this fight progresses, or not fight, but like as we start to like, I'm just backing up Huskar. I was a little worried Lion was gonna like finger him out of nowhere, so I cast that Heavenly Grace, and then Lion popped out, and I was like, I knew it. And then we're just gonna back out here, or I'm trying to get my team to back out. Kunkka absolutely whiffed his combo. I was like, this doesn't have status resistance anymore, right? It does not. I don't know what he was doing. He screwed it up. But I don't have any of my abilities, and I'm running out of mana, and so I was trying to tell my team to get out of here. PA being real rude, trying to jump me. I'm gonna salve myself because I can, and again, keeping an eye on like what I have mana-wise. I'm gonna cast Heavenly Grace on Huskar because he really needed it there. I'm gonna medallion him as well. Actually, I was trying to get him killed, I guess, but I think I probably should have saved my mana, guys. It got me killed, too. If I had that mana, I could have used Purification. So in hindsight, I was preaching you guys, right? When we TP'd up here, I was telling you, like, oh, keep an eye on what you need to cast. I shouldn't have done this. Slowed him. Actually, I'm a little conflicted. I think it would have been kind of worth the kill, and I think that was my idea. It's like, oh, I'll get him killed if I slow him. But also, if I had saved my mana to like still think about the Purification, the Heavenly Grace, the saves, I would have had enough mana here to heal myself, stay alive. Looking back at it, I think going for the Kunkka was a little greedy. I think I should have like kept my team trying to back out, and backing out means purification is better rather than Hammer of Purity. Guys, this fight's actually crazy though. So it's 2v3, and then they go back in. They've been fighting this whole game, but here they were united. They didn't say anything. They just both went in. Or I guess Primal Beast charged, so Weaver went in. I thought we were throwing. But Uproar, good ability, guys. It just like runs over Lion. Weaver kills Kunkka, and then Grimstroke gets killed. Kind of crazy, huh? I think this helped fix their dysfunction. After this, they didn't fight as much. Very lucky. I came here for a couple last hits because I want these arcane boots. Then I decided Weaver was probably going to get them over me, so I would just like leave. But also with the bounty rune, I had enough gold anyways. Had my courier go over there to make my life a little easier, picked it up, and I'm going to stay near Huskar again. We have a bit more time down here, but you see me drawing up here? I'm telling him, like, well, 1, we have wards here, so, like, let's go play up there. But 2, the last Roche would have expired around 15 minutes. 15:10, I think is what it was in-game. And so I know, like, there's a chance for Roche to start spawn in the next, like, 25 seconds, so we should be up there, just controlling the area. So I was drawing it, trying to get them to go up there. But until he goes up there, like, there's no point in me being up there if he's not there. So I was trying to, like, stay near him. My positioning here is actually really bad. I should be on the other side. I should be over here. If the enemy is coming to kill this Huskar, they're coming from this direction. I think maybe I was thinking about warding, but then I changed my mind. That might have been why I positioned over there. Please, come pop. Look at me. But my positioning here is really bad. I should be on the safer side, guys. I was exposed to be jumped first by a Night Stalker at night. Whether he sees me or a ward sees me, they could have gotten me. So I ended up coming up here anyways, to kind of like set up without the Huskar. I was hoping like if I was up here, he would go up. Because I was like trying to say it, but he wasn't going, so I was like, I guess I'll go first. They thought we were doing it, so they like ulted in. But we said at this point, like, just let them wait out Night Stalker ult. Because with Night Stalker ult, he can see into the pit. It's very tough to fight into. We're ahead, but with proper vision, they can still win fights. They can see me, they can silence me, I don't get to do anything, things like that. But we didn't think they were strong enough to do Roche, so we were like, just wait it out and hope they're not doing it. But I think we were trying to get someone to go check at this time. I was feeling a little nervous, but then they start showing top, so you're like, oh, they're not doing it. Can't remember if we smoked here or what. Nah, looks like no smoke. Held the ult here a little bit. So if I ult right away, they're just gonna back off. The same way we Night Stalker ulted, or they Night Stalker ulted, and we said let's just back off. If I Omni, they're just gonna be like, oh, we can't fight into this, back off. So I'm holding it. I'm just using my 2 abilities on Huskar, trying to stay back. You see me like hugging this tree. I don't know where they have vision, but I know it's not over here because I have a couple sentries. So I'm guessing they only have like hero vision or wards over here, which won't see past the tree. So I'm trying to position near a tree just in case, like, the way it works out, I'm blocked by that tree and they won't know where I am. Then I see myself get X'd. I think like the combo's coming. But I also see like Huskar man fighting the PA. And I was like, oh, if she gets a lucky crit, we could be having issues. So I went ahead and ulted just to get that out of the way. But they had come closer and had committed some spells. And so an ult at that point, like if they tried to disengage, we got sort of something out of it. And they're close enough to chase. Well, Night Stalker would die. Just casting all my spells. You see with my mana pool now from Arcane Boots, it's a lot easier to just spam out my spells. I don't have to be as worried like, oh, am I allowed to Hammer of Purity here? Stuff like that. Huskar can do Roche on his own, so I came to like check on the Ursa, make sure he's not dying on his own. Then I came up to help because I have the medallion, and I also provide strength and damage to the Huskar, so I want to be near him. Speed up a little bit, this is getting kind of long. Look at my positioning. Again, hugging trees, hoping that wherever they might have a ward is not going to see me through the trees. Heavenly Grace buffed, so you see I am still quite close to Huskar, or like close enough to Heavenly Grace pretty quickly. Such as there, he gets stunned, Heavenly Grace him. I think I was saying not to do this because I didn't have my ult. They're kind of diving here. Maybe I should have used this on Primal Beast, but Huskar to me is the more important hero, and that's why I used Heavenly Grace on him. In hindsight, I don't know if it should have been that way or not, but that was my logic. You see, I'm trying not to like run in there. That's too scary for me. I really just want to like be back and heal the Huskar. I ended up like diving a bit too hard. The fight was not the worst for us, but it could have been better. I should probably be using Purification first and then providing extra strength. I think it's a little more efficient. Here I was just using Heavenly Grace. Because Huskar actually wants to stay kind of low. So I didn't want to like burst heal him too much. I'd rather save it for like let them commit. Then you get the surprise Purification, you get the damage. But against certain, or like with other heroes that don't have the same benefits Huskar does at low health, you might want to Purify and then use Heavenly Grace. I'm going to tell you guys like, it's good with Huskar the way I was doing it, but it was totally just me forgetting to use Purification anyways. But it kind of worked out in my favor this time. I was close to Solar Crest, just trying to farm it up. Saw them starting to walk here, so I was getting nervous. But Lion turned around, so I figured they weren't walking over here, probably top. But it could have been wrong. It was greedy of me to do this. Place these wards, because I want to play bottom now. We got Roche, and we lost it. But that means we don't have to be top anymore for a bit. We're not worried about them stealing Roche because Roche is dead. They can do Roche now at this point, but it's gone. So I know this is now a safe time to play bottom, take this tower, maybe get this barracks going. We don't need to like hold this area for like 8 minutes until the next Roche. So that's why I went ahead and placed some deep wards to know what they're up to. Trying to keep an eye on Grimstroke, but saw like some heroes there, so I knew it was time to get out. Still checking for their wards, stuff like that. Oh, I went Solar Crest this game for the Huskar and Ursa. I know... Oh, actually, you guys haven't seen it yet. Aether Lens is pretty good as a default item, and I thought about getting it this game, thought about getting a 4-staff against the Night Stalker, but because he wasn't having the best game and hadn't been able to like prioritize me as much, also hadn't built a blink, I felt safe enough to not get an Aether Lens or a 4-staff to stay further back, and felt like I could be a little greedy with the Solar Crest. Also, the extra armor felt really good against a PA and Night Stalker and Kunkka. It also lets me just like throw more on Huskar, and if they do end up focusing me, like Huskar is hopefully killing them. Notice in all these fights break out, I'm not at the front of this smoke, right? This kind of stuff's happening. I am behind. Let them run into heroes, and then I will save them. Because our smoke broke, and I thought a fight might break out here, I wanted to check the cliff. Removing their vision is pretty good in fights, but I also felt nervous about this because I was like, oh shit, I'm not in range to cast my spells. But I was like glancing at the minimap at that time to know like, did I have to give up that ward and like co-help them or not? But you do want to let your team know there's a ward there, because chasing for a fight I think is the wrong choice. We should just remove their vision at that point. Actually, sorry guys, I'm going kind of fast. So I was a little hesitant about this fight because we were missing one guy, and there's no real reason to take this fight. I mean, if we win the fight, great, but like we don't have Aegis, we don't have anything in particular besides our just typical lead. So we're just, if we win a fight here, you know, we get the barracks, but it's like, it's also harder to do than like, say, take this tower and build a lead and wait for the next Roche, something like that. Or wait for pickoff, then do this. So this is just like the hardest thing we could attempt. That's why I'm a little iffy here. Still staying kind of like back. See me like hugging, I don't know why I'm walking back and forth like this, guys. Kind of waiting for the stun to come out and then remove it, but I mistimed a little bit. So he's got the bonus strength, but he's still stunned. That's my bad. That's why I felt the need to ult before he got killed without being able to react. I think Night Stalker was incorrectly prioritizing me at this point because I had already used all my abilities. It doesn't matter anymore. But you can see, this is why I wasn't too worried about him to need a 4-staff, right? He didn't have a great game, so my team can kill him. And as long as I Heavenly Grace ahead of time, which I will have time to do because he doesn't have a blink, I'm pretty tanky, so I wasn't worried about dying anymore. At this point, I was like, man, what are we doing here? But I ran in here because I wanted to kill this sentry. This was stupid, guys. I shouldn't have done this. But the way we were diving, I was like, maybe I'll have time to do this, you know? I cast my spells, I'm up here, like, let me remove their sentry. And then that PA stuff came out, and I was like, oh, I've made a mistake, get out. Don't do it, guys, it's not worth it. This observer for the fight is worth it if your team's diving like this. Just because it's going to be killed, but like the temporary vision it provides, like look at it, look what we can see and make choices on. It's really important for this. I should let it die rather than risk my life coming up here. It kind of, it goes against everything I've been telling you guys to do with Omni this whole game. I think we get out here. I played like an hour ago, can't even remember. Yeah, we get out, we realize like, what are we doing, you know? So we come bottom, we have a little more time before Roshan, still trying to get my team to play down here. You see me drawing down there. We have good vision, waiting for them to come up here. But Huskar was pinging that he was close to Ags, so I was like, okay, let him farm the Ags. We have time. If he can get the Ags before the next Rosh time, we'll be good. Gonna take Arcane Rune. Just gonna sit behind him. I should actually be on the cliff, which you see me reposition once I realize what I'm doing. But I still want to do this. I want to be behind him because they just killed Ursa, which, by the way, was super obvious, guys. Let me just complain about this, okay? We all backed from this fight. They need to do something. I have 2 wards right here, and we're all down here. Worst case, they're smoked. If they're not smoked and they're running at here, we should see them. If they're not smoked and then we don't see them here, that means they are going this way. If they're smoked, we don't see them coming through here, but they could also be going top. So, as we back off, if they're smoked, they will come this way, and I'm going to position to break smokes here, I think. Maybe I forgot. Let me see. No, it looks like I'm not. So, if I'm coming down here, they still have not found anything, and they are going to keep chasing or give up soon. If they're going top, they need to target. And guess what? There's an Ursa just pushing with the wave, just going as fast as possible with it. I even have a video about not doing this, guys, about letting the creeps go. Still no one showing, which means they're either chasing us, who have all split up. I was like trying to get my team to like pull together here. I was like dying inside, guys. Or they went top and they need to carry who's going to instantly show in the next creep wave. Hey, look at that. Wow. How'd they know where he was? Ursa, if you watch this video, I'm sorry, but I should have told you. I don't think I was voice chatting this game, guys. I was like sitting quietly. That was super obvious. If you watch the mini map, this is why map awareness is important, guys. You can like infer what's happening. Either case was bad for us. If they had come bottom, I'm flaming Ursa here. If they had came bottom, they would have killed like the Weaver or the Primal Beast or like me and Huskar. At least we are more together though. But we all need to get out. Like Ursa showing top means all of us need to back off. All together, Ursa can push one wave by the tower and then get out. Because he's like walking towards where they are smoking towards, potentially. Place this ward because I thought like they might invade here after taking mid. And now we kind of need a defensive ward in this area because this tower, this off lane and mid are gone. In hindsight, I kind of regret this. This is a little too defensive. But I thought like if they were over aggressive invading us and Ursa is like close to respawning, you know, here he is now. I thought maybe we'd be able to fight around our own high ground with this vision. Joining my team. We still have vision down here, but at this point I'm like circling up here because it's like Rosh is now closer to spawning. I want to start getting control of that area. So that's what I was pinging. Oh, neutral items, by the way, guys. I had the shovel to dig up mangoes in the early game and just generally good stuff. Philosopher's Stone came up later. gives me mana, helps me get gold. I don't need attack damage. It's not important. I guess my hammer does a little less damage, but that's not my job. I want mana. I want money. So Philosopher's Stone, natural choice. And then Psychic Headband's going to allow me to cast further. I skipped Aether Lens this game, so that's going to be nice. I'm going for a Lotus now because armor against PA Night Stalker, and then reflect some of these stuns, so it's harder to like chain stun abilities. I actually, in hindsight, I don't think I needed the Lotus Orb. Maybe I could have gone for I don't know, like a Vlad's. I thought this was bad for our team to like go invade like this. When Huskar was trying to finish the Ags here, I think, and then he like just picked it up. What was I just saying? Oh, item-wise, the reason I got Lotus is because I was just worried about them getting chain stunned and killed, like both Ursa and Huskar. I felt like that was one of the few ways we could lose. Once I sentry'd here and realized I had a ward here, guys. So we smoked. I wanted to look for like start invade. Felt like it would be dangerous to invade without checking if they were up here. Placed this sentry, saw it wasn't fresh. If it was fresh, it means they're up here. Or they're right here, but they're not here, so they're up here. Not fresh. Not a fresh observer. They don't have a sentry that I can see, but their sentry might be over here. So they might have seen me just place this sentry, or they didn't. However, my courier came here and then sharply changed angles, which they do see. So we're all smoked, but they see the courier walking this angle and cutting this way. They also don't see any of us on the mini-map right now. So we are probably smoked. And my courier movement just gave it away. This sentry placement might have also given it away. So it's a bit on a mistake on my part. That's why after a bit of hesitating, I decided to just kill the ward. Place an observer ward as well to see what they had. Oh, looks like I didn't place it because my team kept going. Actually, that's what happened. So my team, I was about to like start killing this ward, and then I see like this guy starting to go on there, so I decided to like come join them. But in my mind, I kind of knew like they knew we were here. I was just hoping they didn't see the once I placed my observer, I knew that they didn't have a sentry, unless I'm really unlucky here with the slightest degree. And I'm just hoping they didn't notice my observer or thought I like changed it to send it home. I'm gonna go ahead and Solar Crest this guy from super far away and Heavenly Grace him because I know he's like about to start diving in and I won't be able to reach him. Also, it's permanent uptime at this point. Trying to keep my distance. I should be in these trees. It's a bit my fault here. Now I'm in the trees. You guys see that? I'm gonna place these sentries. Heal the important people to me. Holding my ult right now because I didn't think I needed it. There's like the double hex that the Lotus would help against. Ulted because... Sorry, I went back too long. Ulted because I see Night Stalker getting closer and closer to me and felt like I might get silenced soon. But also they're comboing on Huskar. And so if I can remove some of the like damage he takes, then he might survive this. And then he'll be, you know, good to go. Low health Huskar, like that's great for us, right? Also worried PA might buy back and join, like, while we're chain stunned. Place a deep ward while I'm here. I'm in complete vision of them while doing this, but hoping in the chaos of the fight, they're not noticing it. And when your team is diving like this, like, having vision helps with the dives a lot. So that's why I'm willing to risk an observer ward. If it survives, really good. If it helps us get a kill, great, because we are deep. And I think we win off this, actually. Oh, no. So PA came in. A killer on her own. Buys back. All our abilities are down. And then... You see that, guys? See who that line was going for? Is he looking at this Huskar? No, he's looking at me. This is good on Lion to an extent. I am the guy they need to kill, but my positioning is pretty good. So I think he's actually extending a little too far. But at the same time, if he stops me from doing anything, and that's why he cast these spells on me, they are then able to commit. But actually all my spells were out, so I already did my best saving that Huskar, but he just got some crits and the passive break from PA. So we're actually throwing here a bit. We got a little worried about this. We all just need to like back off, reset. Sorry, we'll speed up here, guys. This will be like a full hour. Hopefully you guys find it really useful though. That's my hope. Why do we buy back here? Sorry, I sped up so fast. I missed what happened. Okay, let's see. So through a little bit. Buying my stuff, making sure I have enough for buyback. See this happening. So this is why I saved my money for buyback, guys. That's why I was checking before I bought the whole Lotus. Buyback, TP here. Keeping an eye on what's happening. So I'm full mana, so I know I can cast all my spells. Trying to keep an eye on the cooldown, like how long I have till this. But also just trying to absorb all the information best I can of like what skills are being used. What do I have to be scared of? Who do I need to save? So I know I want to help this Huskar because he bought back. And if he dies, we are super screwed. So I know I am beelining straight to this Huskar and hoping he lives. Getting real scary here. Wish I had like a Lotus Orb or something to use on him right here. I am pinging that it is like 5 seconds away. But fortunately, everyone is sitting here disarmed, just looking at each other. And so I am able to get my ult off. Barely. Huskar kind of not on the same page. Wasted a second there. It's okay. I wasn't talking. It's my fault. We get very close, guys. Huskar almost died here, and then we would have been screwed. But he's got a lot of disarms. I'm able to just spam my abilities on him. Chase this Kunkka. Slow him. Ursa pops in. Almost steal the kill. I was going for it. I'm not going to lie. And then because PA had dieback, now we just run down here. And now we finish. Oh, this is about right. When we did replay reviews, 33 minutes turns into an hour. But hope you guys found that helpful, trying to explain everything we did. It is kind of Omniknight specific, this game, but hopefully also some general support tips there for you guys. I'll make a much shorter Omniknight guide later, probably only like 5 or 15 minutes. Actually, it's probably going to be 5 minutes, guys. It'll be real basic, just like a rundown of skills and abilities. I will... When you watch this video, if you watch the whole thing, not finished yet, but I will link it here somewhere, or just keep an eye out for it if you're interested in playing Omniknight. But this is a pretty standard build. The playstyle I did, I have great heroes to work with this game, but conceptually, like you're gonna do it no matter who you have. You have a Quap, you have a Kunkka on your team, Shadow Fiend. Like you pick the right targets, whoever is doing the best. You look for stuns to dispel with Heavenly Grace. You heal the right people, hold your ult, amplify the right people, you know? So you don't need to be playing with Huskars and Ursas. Really, Omniknight's just good with a lot of people right now. Fits the high tempo, all that stuff. So hopefully after this, you have a better idea of how to play him and maybe just general support stuff too. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.